What's happening, guys? This is Logan Robinson from BucsGameday.com. We're here live on a not-so-wonderful, fantastic Sunday late afternoon after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went on a roller coaster of a ride with the Buffalo Bills, but did not come out on top. A 44-32 loss, their second straight loss here, and the Buccaneers, it's a tough one. This is one that they're going to want to have back. A lot of mistakes made in this one, certainly there at the end, which we'll dive deeper into. But with me this afternoon is River Wells, our lead editor at BucsGameday.com. Just like I was telling you, River, and we were talking before we went live, this one was a shootout all over the place between Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen, and it's something that we expected to probably be, because Baker, we knew, was going to show up and utilize probably his legs, which he did, and that helped this offensive move. But still, nonetheless, though, the Buccaneers kind of getting gashed quite a bit by some of those explosive plays on the defensive side. And like I said, you can't come away with the win. It is an AFC team, but you would love to see a win come up in Buffalo, because there was a lot of chances for it.
There definitely were. Man, they did the first part of their game plan that they needed to do, right? The run game. I mean, you look at the running here, 202 net rushing yards, 5.2 yards per carry. So they got that part done, limited Buffalo to 97 rushing yards, which you had told me they were going to do that before the game. I would have said that would be how you win it, because not a lot of wide receivers on that Buffalo side of the ball. But man, this defense, Josh Allen, 3 in the air, 3 on the ground, Paul Revere style. You've got 317 net passing yards from the Buffalo Bills. Brutal, brutal, brutal day from the defense. And also special teams, just horrendous today. You look at the return yards for the Bills, 234 yards returning on 6 kickoffs. Very, very tough. It's hard to blame on the offense because of what they were able to do on the ground, get some touchdowns, especially Sean Tucker's 3-touchdown day. But I thought Baker Mayfield could have played a better game, only 165 net passing yards. He had 2 turnovers on the day. The Bucs had 2 two-point conversion opportunities. Couldn't punch the ball in there. If you had those 4 points back, you would have been potentially competing tie at the end of the game. Josh Guzard and his Buccaneers offense 1 for 7 on 2-point conversions so far this season. And so that 3rd and 2 at the end of the game, we're talking about that before we hopped on. I would have ran the ball there, averaging over 5 yards a carry. Would have ran the ball there with the understanding that you would go for it on 4th down. They decided to punt away to a Bills defense that had been gashing them, or Bills offense had been gashing them all day, and they scored another touchdown. So really tough there. I thought the offense played the best of the 3 phases, but I think there's no argument that it was another kind of 3-phase loss for the Buccaneers against the Bills. Hard to point whenever you score 32 points, you should win a football game. I should say that out front. But there were opportunities on offense, opportunities on defense, opportunities on special teams, and didn't come together.
Yeah. Speaking about one of those 2-point conversions, we got another kind of somewhat Gazard and liking to take those Mike Evans type corner shots with his smallest wide receivers, and it was Sterling Shepard. It was Sterling
2
Shepard.
pass plays too, right? The first one Baker tried to run, didn't get it. Second one to Sterling Shepard, but Bucs have been great on the run game. He decided to pass twice on those 2-point conversions, didn't get him.
Yeah, I mean, like we're seeing here in the comments from Bryce on YouTube, special teams' biggest issue, spotting Allen in midfield all day isn't good for any defense. And you're absolutely right. That is an MVP caliber quarterback, and the thing is, whenever you just give yards to him that easily, it's so easy. Definitely whenever you've got a guy in the backfield too with James Cook, that once he gets going, he can get going for you. And definitely with explosives, that was just the theme all throughout the day for Todd Bowles' defenses, and he looked pretty ticked off on the sideline. But that's just been them throughout the entirety of the season. And definitely when you're facing a guy like Josh Allen, giving him extra yards midfield like that continuously, it's absolutely ridiculous that continues to happen there for the Buccaneers. But yeah, I mean, it was a big day for Sean Tucker, 106 yards on the ground.
Hat trick. He's pleased to hear
touchdowns. That. Yeah. I mean, Tucker, we've been wanting to see more of Sean Tucker, just off the things that we have seen the last couple of training camps, and then of course you see in some games where he just explodes, and this was another explosive game from Sean Tucker, his best yet. And then Rachaad White too was moving the ball very well too on the ground, 10 attempts, 51 yards, averaging 5.1 yards per carry there as well. Had a drop though from Mecca Buka early in the game, something that you don't really see much from on him, and not characteristic of him whatsoever. And once again, Sterling Shepard's one of your best. He is your best receiving player of the day with 54 yards, River. And you can now really – Baker was able to do some things in this game. We also saw him running the ball a lot more, which helped this offense a whole ton. And, of course, it helped reach and get a touchdown as well, utilizing those legs. But it does help this offense, I think, give them a little bit more cushion whenever you're missing guys like Bucky Irving and Chris Godwin, which I think there's some high optimism those guys return probably next Sunday, River. If we had to, put a prediction on it, I think you get those two guys back next weekend.
Well, now you definitely have to, even if you were considering resting them. Bucs are 6-4. This Rams game is an NFC game, and that's going to be an important game to win for playoff seeding purposes. And unfortunately, the Rams are like a buzzsaw right now. They're playing the Seahawks in what's probably going to be the game of the year. So thank you guys for sticking around here and not going to watch that, because I wouldn't blame you. But this is going to be a crucial game to win coming up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they're going to have guys like Bucky Irving and Chris Godwin back, especially just for more added weapons. I mean, look at the stats here on offense. Again, 32 points should always win you a football game, absolutely. But Buccaneers were 2 for 4 in the red zone, 1 for 3 on goal to go in the red zone. So you got to be able to, and that's not counting, of course, those 2-point conversions you face. So tough. Got to be able to punch those in. Defense has to be able to hold it. Now it's the second week in a row we've seen this Buccaneers defense give up explosives, right? There were a few. You had Ty Johnson get one. You had an explosive to James Cook there on that pass on that wheel route, which kind of poked his head on a Todd Bowles defense occasionally. So that's the second week in a row we've seen this problem. It's kind of like when you have a golf swing and you fix one part of your golf swing and then another part starts getting worse. This is a new problem for the Buccaneers defense, giving up these big splash explosive plays. They got to figure out a way to stop that going forward. That's a big reason why Buffalo was able to be as successful as it was. Running game for Buffalo, I mean, 97 yards, 4.2 yards per carry. Genuinely kept it in check. But they were just launching pass plays all the way down the field, and this defense completely broke Steve. So,
and there were some that Josh Allen was throwing in, and if they would have hit, they would have been touchdowns. And there were some overthrows by him on multiple guys and wide open. I mean, I think you had Levante David on a deep shot there. That's just unfair for that situation that he was going to be in, but they couldn't get back to Josh Allen in time. So you give that guy enough time, he is going to try to take those big shots. And they were successful. There was a handful of them that were successful in this one this afternoon. Now the big penalty though, and the Bucs have been clean for the most part of this game until now, really the big one at the end with Jacob Parrish there
mask.
And that was brutal because Antoine Winfield had free game. He was ready to go and make the tackle, and they're going to make a big time stop there, and would have been huge because then you hold them to a field goal there. Then you put the ball back in Baker Mayfield's hands, which as we know, he's a guy that can go down the field, and they had been doing that all throughout the game this afternoon. But that penalty from the rookie, he was having a really strong game, massive game for him as a rookie. And then the rookie mistake hits there and has that face mask, man. And it was hard to tell until they found another angle on the replay, and you could tell that he got under that face mask. Just so unfortunate, man. Unfortunate.
Right there. It's those little small margins. And that's been the story of the Bucs, the recent games, right? Lost their last 3 out of 4. It's those small margins. So would have had a chance to tie it there had they not given up that face mask penalty. Instead, Josh Allen did what he did. And King Cook makes a very good point there in the comments himself. You had 2 picks off of Josh Allen and got 3 points off of that. And then he had another turnover where he got 7. Got to be able to take advantage of those. So at that point, again, hard to blame a team for putting up this many points and doing so good in the run game, but it felt like in all 3 phases there were places where the Bucs could improve. From Baker Mayfield to the play calling on offense to the really big defensive struggles. No pass rush all day on Josh Allen, man. Nothing. He had so much time in the pocket. You need Hassan Reddick back real bad. And even then, you got to figure out your pass rush because it just doesn't seem like these pass rushers are getting home in the way they need to. He had all day to operate and pass, and that's a big reason why he was able to gash him in the pass game too. And special teams, man, just constantly giving Josh Allen and the Bills short field from the 50 and inside on almost every kick return.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of kick returns. There's a lot of points scored, right? So great day by Sean Tucker, but the offense has some stutters. Defense really didn't do well. And I mean, man, the special teams didn't deliver at all. So pretty rough for us. And also to point out as well, I believe the Panthers are playing the Falcons right now.
Did they go into overtime?
They did go into overtime. The Panthers won that game 30-27, which means the Bucs no longer have an outright lead over the NFC South. I believe they are tied for the Panthers in record. Or is the Panthers 5-5 now?
Yeah, they're 5-5. 5-5.
5-5.
Yeah.
So in that measure, they do have a 1-game lead. They're coming up, man, and you got the Panthers twice. Right, so
yeah. Luckily, you do have that in your favor.
That's you gotta be able to have that opportunity, but if those games don't go well, then that's tough, right? So
yeah. No, and now it gets a little interesting, tiny bit, and you go on the road, which I'm seeing a handful of comments in here about the Rams, and like you just said too, that this is going to be the potential game of the year with the Seahawks. Both those teams looking phenomenal in the NFC. But then, you're going to go on the road in LA, cross-country trip over there against a high-powered offense that is just clicking on all cylinders with Sean McVay. Not going to be easy. Definitely coming after what you saw defensively from the Bucs today. Another thing that we got to keep a very close eye on, River, is Jamel Dean. He left early in this game against the Bills with a hip injury, and it was pretty rough for him just looking on camera. Rough for him walking back to the locker room. And I don't believe this entire season he's been dealing with a hip injury. I don't believe. So I don't know if anything got redeemed there, but that's something that we are going to have to keep a very close eye on because he has been having a fantastic year. He almost had an interception earlier on, I believe, in this game as well. I mean, he's having a Pro Bowl type caliber season for the Bucs, and losing Jamel Dean going into this big NFC game next weekend would be pretty damn brutal, I think, River.
Yeah, absolutely would. Just to confirm, Panthers are 6-5. Bucs are half a game up at 6-4 in the division. So that's narrowing. Yeah, Jamel Dean has been one of the best corners in the NFL. I honestly think up to this point he's had a Pro Bowl caliber season, 2 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, lockdown corner. So to miss him would be pretty big. He missed the Seahawks game earlier this season, but came back quick. So hopefully same situation this time around. He can come back really quick. He's been excellent this year. Dean has been, so missing him and putting Benjamin Morrison in, who's had some flashes, but has overall, I think, struggled a little bit in the last few games, especially against this real tough Rams team, man. This is arguably the best football team in the National Football League you're going up against in Week 12 in Los Angeles on Sunday Night Football, too. It's prime time as well. We know the Bucs play in prime time, so they're going to have to figure something out there. And if they don't, they'll be 6-5. If they lose the Rams, they'll have lost 4 of their last 5 games. They need to get healthy. They need to figure out what's going on all facets of the ball. From coaching, play calling, down to the players executing. They have an easy schedule after this Rams game, but I think they still have problems that prevent them from being a true Super Bowl contender at this point in the season, and they need to figure all that out.
Yes, they do, and you got to hope maybe we'll get you see Bucky Irving come back. Both Chris Godwin and him were practicing this week in limited fashion, but I think it's getting really close for those guys to make their return debut. And then also too, keep an eye on Hassan Reddick. We'll see if we get any updates from Todd Bowles early in the week, but you need some pieces back because whenever you're going to face off on the road against the Rams, it's not going to be easy.
Not at all. Not at all.
Whatsoever.
Not at all. Woo.
But yeah, I mean, big game for Sean Tucker. If you try to look at some positives, Sean Tucker had a great game there.
Yeah.
The Bills' rushing defense is awful though, so there was a strong chance
Yeah,
for
it's
this
really
Bucs
bad.
offense to get down there. Like it's an
And
awful
yeah,
rush defense.
and I thought they executed that well, and then in situations where it's 3rd and 2, right?
Mhm.
At the end of the game, averaging over 5 yards a carry, right? You figure you could run that ball twice, and based on
Yeah, you
your
don't have to get cute with it.
mathematical averages, would
Mhm.
get that first down. They decided to punt away there at the very end. I think Todd Bowles has gotten a lot better at situational football in those calls, especially um, with adding a new game situational manager to the team as well, an assistant. But this is one of the first decisions, I think,
No,
where
not
Bowles has
back.
had a misstep this year, or it's pretty notably bad. So
Mhm.
I think you got to go for it at that point. Can't get the ball back to the Bills. I wouldn't want to anyway, regardless of how the Bills were playing, but especially with how they were carving up Tampa Bay's defense. I think that's 2 down territory at the end of the game. They decided to punt it away, and they paid for it. So real tough there, all around situational, fundamental, tough shootout, close game, but if you can't come out with them, it comes down to those little things, and it was those little things.
Yep. Poor Jamel Dean getting ripped to shreds. He didn't get to really play a majority of this game, and he's had a great season.
Guys,
I don't know what happened.
you guys at home, I gotta tell you, he's been excellent this year. He has been simply excellent.
Yeah.
He has been.
I don't
He's
know.
3 picks, forced fumbles. He's PFF's highest graded corner heading into this
Into the
week.
NFL and the best
However
cornerback in the NFL.
you think about him, however you think about him,
I don't know what happened. Everybody's after Jamel Dean, man.
He has been very very good at football this year. So not having him's tough.
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan. I'll take Jamel off y'all's hands going into next year. I'll take him if I got to do it. I'll do it. I'll take him off y'all. I wouldn't mind.
No,
doing that.
and
yeah,
that's
Jamel's one of the top quarterbacks
good
in the NFL. So if you want to blame anybody, it would not be Jamel Dean for this game. Poor guy getting ripped to shreds here. But yeah, next Sunday night football game. It's going to be a big one. Primetime matchup for the Bucs at the Rams. The Rams are currently playing right now. Do we have a score for that one?
They're up 7-3 on the Seattle Seahawks as the first quarter goes to a close. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So,
nice. Oh, 14-3 now.
There you go.
All right. Well, that's flying by very quickly. And as Bucs fans, you're like, oh, ouchie. Don't really look forward to doing that. But yeah,
I'll tell you what, man, if this secondary struggles this much against the Josh Allen, who I thought, quite frankly, Josh Allen missed a few throws today. It could have been way worse.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford has been a cyborg this year, throwing touchdown after touchdown. I think coming into this game, he had thrown 20 straight touchdowns with no picks. There you go. Now I don't know if he threw or ran in those 2, but they've been fantastic. This is a big boy game, and to keep in mind, guys, if the Bucs do win the division, they're the 4 seed going into the playoffs. They are most likely going to have to play one of the Rams or Seahawks in the first round of the playoffs, and that will be tough.
And the Bucs got one. Bucs got them at
they did
Seattle. They got them at Seattle.
That's looking like a huge win now.
That is, a massive win for the Bucs. But yeah, 2 straight losses for the Buccaneers. We'll hear from Todd Bowles tomorrow, and then we will be at One Buck also 2 on Wednesday. Get you some updates from Baker Mayfield, Todd Bowles, and to a handful of players in the locker room. These guys will probably really want to try to turn this page quickly and get prepared and start doing some film work on the Rams that are playing right now as we speak. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us on Here the Cannons. We really do appreciate you hopping in here. Hit that like button down below if you enjoyed it. Also, too, if you're new here,
do it.
We go live after games, right? Immediately giving you an instant reaction. And we go also live on Wednesday nights previewing the upcoming game, which is going to be Bucs Rams primetime Sunday night football. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's weekend, and we'll talk to you guys next week on Here the Cannons. Peace.